Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground. Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome to another ep of History is Dank, dude. I'm Strider Wilson, your host. We got Aaron beasting it on the sticks like a beast. Dude, what up, Aaron?
What up?
Dude, I'm just posted up, dude. Was in Seattle with the boys, dude. It was sick. Shout out to the Connor bros, dude. Mark and Paul for being beasts, taking us around the city, dude. Dude, we saw the Space Needle. Here's my hot take, dude. Space Needle's dumb. Dude, it's a restaurant, bro.
Well, yeah.
Dude, and it has nothing to do with space. It just takes up space.
Yeah. Wasn't it? It was the tallest thing on the West Coast for a long time.
It was for a while, like back when it was built for like the World's Fair in 1962. There was a dude. This dude financed it. He pushed through some paperwork. He found like 120 by 120 foot like lot that was formerly used for like police and fire system, storage or whatever. He paid like $75K, scrambled for the land to get this thing built because, I guess he's really like, dude, I want people to eat food high up in the sky. It's really important. Here's the thing, dude. When you come to Seattle, we got good seafood, right? We're a major port. You can get a piece of salmon at sea level, but imagine if you had that piece of salmon 500 feet above the ground. Think about that.
Does it rotate up there?
What's that?
Does it rotate up there?
It does rotate.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it does look cool. Like, you look at the skyline, you're like, it's pretty iconic.
It's literally, the stratosphere is literally the same in Vegas. I was just across the street from it, so.
Yeah. Also, yeah, it's dumb. You're like, that shouldn't be there, dude.
Yeah. There's a reason that hotel's not succeeding.
Yeah. It makes more sense in Vegas that they have a Space Needle with a roller coaster on top and a bar. I'm like, that makes sense to me. But it's pretty sick, dude, Solid ass structure, dude. Can withstand winds of over 200 miles per hour, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake. It's, rated for that.
Oh, wow. That's good.
So it's pretty sick. The elevators go 10 miles per hour. That's fast.
Yeah.
The observation deck, is 520 feet. But then it rises up. Of course, the needle rises up to make it like the tallest building west of the Mississippi River, replacing Smith Tower in downtown Seattle, which had been the tallest since 1914.
I don't like the idea of, because they have that here in LA, where like that U.S. Bank building was the tallest building for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then they built this dumb building and put an antenna on it.
Yeah, antennas don't count, bro.
That shouldn't count, no.
I agree. Antennas don't count.
If you can't hang out there, it doesn't count.
I agree. If you're a dude who's into base, if the only person that can enjoy that antenna is a base jumper, dude, which is sick, that's tight. Let him go parachute off there. Some dude from Norway who's into base jumping or whatever, dude, or squirrel suits, dude. Yeah. If dude's like squirrel suiting off your antenna, that's tight, but it doesn't count for tallest, dude.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah. So
if you can't land a helicopter on it, it's not your roof.
Did you want to know? I 100% agree. You got to be able to land a chopper on there, dude.
If you can't stand there and say hello to the aliens as they blow up Los Angeles.
Thank you. If you can't have a rave, if you can't throw a rave on the roof when the aliens come and visit us, then it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
And you need to be at least able to have handful of people to have a low-key rave or a dance party.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why the Space Needle is the only thing it has to do with space? Is the colors, dude. The body is orbital olive. Astronaut white for the legs of the tower. Re-entry red for the saucer. Galaxy gold for the roof.
Nah, dude.
Get out of here, dude. Anyway, dude, besides the Seattle friggin' Space Needle, which is dumb, Seattle was sick, dude. It lived up to its name. It was rainy. It was cold, but it was cozy. It made you want to get a nice cup of joe and hang out. But today, we are not talking Seattle, dude.
That was just bonus history just now, guys.
Dude,
Bonus.
exactly. Bonus. Today we are talking from a suggestion from a Danktorian. Aaron, how's your French, dude?
Not great.
Okay. I'm going to try to say this name. Luckily, she's got a lot of different names, but this was suggested by a Dankatorian, and I'm happy it was. Because this lady is known as one of history's greatest rascals, or perhaps history's greatest rascal. And her name is Julie Daubigny. D apostrophe Aubigny. Julie Daubigny.
Well, they hit that D.
Daubigny.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, Daubigny.
So, here's the thing, dude. She had many names, actually. And there's a big reason why she had many names, because she was quite the, she lived quite the extravagant lifestyle. I wouldn't say extravagant as in lavish, but let's just put it this way, dude. She had to be pardoned by the king twice.
Twice. Nice.
Twice. She killed dudes in duels. She killed 3 dudes in duels. And usually a lot of times duels wouldn't end in the death. She was cross-dressing because, you know, she wanted to duel and just based with, and hiding her identity. This is cool, dude. For her era, she was bisexual. This is how someone describes her: a bisexual, cross-dressing swordswoman who killed at least 3 men in duels.
Wow.
Yeah. She cut their dicks off, so the gender of the dudes in duels is also in debate. Kidding. It's not. She didn't cut. No account of her slicing off any cocks.
It would be uncouth.
It would be uncouth. It'd be gauche. You've won the duel. Don't cut the dick off. You know, have honor. So just getting back to her names and what we do know, there's definitely some hazy things in her history. Basically, it's like, why are we talking about this lady? Dude, because she did a lot of gnarly shit. She lived life to its fullest. She had a short lifespan, for her era even. And she just did some badass shit, dude, and like went balls to the walls, dude. She sucked the vine for whatever life juice is pumping through that vine. She sucked it all out, dude, and friggin' murked some bros and was famous too in her own, like just her opera career. We could talk about that, but that's the least interesting part. So her professional name was Mademoiselle Maupin. She was cheered on by crowds as La Maupin in her opera. She played like a ton of roles, 29 roles, and due to her skill set in opera, it really helped her thrive, because we'll get into why she was so good at dueling. I love someone who's good at dueling, dude. That's just all we need to know. It's just she duels, bro.
Well, the only thing you need to be good at it is to not die.
It's very true. Very true. But baby, how do you not die? You freaking just got to be baller, dude. Go balls to the wall, I guess. She was also known as Émile in her letters from one of her husbands. Here we go. A one-time husband, this guy named Thevenard, dude. He called her Julia, actually. Also known as Madame de Maupin and Madeleine, though she's best known as Julie Daubigny. Let me know. Write in. Let me know how my French is, dude. Never took a French class in my life, though. Although one time I got kicked out of Spanish class in high school and had to sit in on French class, dude. So I was talking too much, dude. Making too many good-ass jokes. My buddy Mike was in the middle of a quiz, dude. And I took his pencil and threw it out the window so he couldn't finish, dude. Teacher kicked me out. Also, she started teaching a lesson, and I wanted to act like I was super into her, whatever she was teaching. And so whenever she'd be like, and then, you know, for escuchar, which means to listen, we would then conjugate to escucho. And then escuchiendo means listening. And she would say this, and every time she'd come to a point, I'd go, And then there's escuchan for they. She kicked me out of class, dude. It's amazing. One of my proudest moments, dude. I got a D+. So I'm fired up on that plus, dude. Thank you very much. So Julie, and I'll refrain from saying the last name, her extraordinary talent for sword fighting ran in her blood, dude. Her dad was an accomplished swordsman, and he trained the court pages in Versailles, dude. So she grew up around wealth. I mean, Versailles, you ever been there, dude? Sick-ass castle, bro. And so she's just posted up. I mean, granted, she didn't live in the castle, but, you know, in an area around it. And the estate has like other friggin', it's like a compound, dude. There's other friggin' sick ass houses are attached to it. And her dad friggin' taught court pages how to duel and, fight and stuff like that, dude. It's like, all right, dude, the pen might be mightier than the sword, but bro, if you're in a duel, you ain't gonna stab someone with a pen, bro. So she grew up and she would beat the pages even as a young girl. She just had like an innate talent for it. And like the pages would lose to her, dude. These guys would get shamed by this woman. And, and this is an era, this is taking place in like, the 18, or let me see exactly what, dude, hilarious, bro. I'm not a dates guy, dude. All right, bro? Let me tell you something right now. Okay, 1607 is when Julie was born, Paris, France. So, excuse me, I'm a dumbass, dude. It says 1670 right there in my notes. I don't know why I said 07. 1670 is when she's born. So you got to imagine 1670 to 1680, she's just freaking poning, dude, these noob pages and duels. It's not long before she, we're in an era of when perverts thrive. If you're a rich pervert, dude, you thrive. You see a young girl who's good at using a sword and you got money, you're going to woo that young girl. Even as a teenager, I mean, these are acceptable relationships of the era. Something now that we frown upon, we go, ooh, yikes, ooh. But this is a commonplace, but still not okay for whatever social climate it is, because this guy, Count d'Armagnac, who I like to refer to as Pervert 1, Royal Pervert 1, he starts to have a relationship with Julie when she's a teenager. She becomes his mistress. To cover up their affair, the Count arranges for a marriage to Aubigny at 17. Julie at 17. Right around the time her father died. So, he waited. He's a respectful guy. He's like, look, dude. And guess what? He's like, he also knows how to use a sword. He'll probably murk my ass. So she marries this dude. So this affair goes on. And then he arranges for a marriage to this clerk. The Count quickly sent the clerk off to rural France. So he's like, yeah, you'll marry this clerk. It'll be legit. You can't marry me, but you'll marry this noob clerk who you probably pwn in sword fighting. And then cool, as soon as that happens, oh, great. He's going to get assigned way out to the countryside, and you're his wife. Yeah, you'll probably just still stay here. We're going to need you here. So, that's how things get started. She still is enjoying sword play. She won't train officially, but she'll take part in these lessons. And no woman is permitted to do this in this era. And there will be more on that later. But Julie's a young gun. She's like, look, dude, this Count was tight. That was cool. But I'm now growing from a teenager into a woman, and I'm not going to settle for some old dude's balls. Screw that, dude. I'm out, bro. So she flees to her Paris with a lover who killed his rival in a duel, dude. So, she would post up and go to duels, check these things out. And let's just be clear, as I was researching this, there are definitely holes in the history here. Like the story kind of flows, but you're like, how exactly does it go from one thing to the other? I mean, it's just life being lived. She's hanging out. She's probably at a bar, meeting people, talking. You know what I mean? And she's a lady who can handle herself. So she's like, all right, dude, I'm over this Count, dude. I'm going to go cruise with this guy who I would like to refer to as Royal Pervert number 2, but it's not really, because this guy, he flees, he kills this dude in a duel. And I'll tell you right now, and we'll get into it, dueling at this is commonplace, but it is outlawed. It's outlawed because it's like a threat to the crown's decision. So if someone, has a case or whatever, and, if you're the right social stature, the king will hear it out. If you're not, it's just like, no, some local magistrate will just be like, nope, probably, take someone's money, or just whoever has the most money, take a payoff, and that's who wins the case. So dueling was a common way to settle grievances or someone dishonoring somebody. Usually you would walk up and slap someone in the face and say, I challenge you to a duel, at which point the guy would accept, and whoever's being challenged would pick the method of dueling. All crazy. We'll get into it a little bit more. So because this guy, her lover, who I thought was Royal Pervert number 2, It's this master swordsman named Saran, which is a great name for a guy who's good at using his sword, and he's also probably good at using his hog. They flee together to the south of France. Parisian police are chasing after her. They transform themselves, and this is probably my favorite chapter in her life, into a traveling performers where they would go along the countryside. They would hold fencing demonstrations, teach lessons. Julie would often dress as a man to do this, just for people. They'd be like, what's that woman doing holding a sword? So it would just make audiences more, it would be more digestible for the audiences of the time. So these two dudes, even though one of them was Julie, would go around, putting on performances, fencing. Sometimes she would sing. So this is just a little hint at her opera career to come. And since she would sing somebody, she caught the eye of the right person, and I guess she had just innate natural talent for music. She's offered a role at the Opera de Marseille, and this becomes her passion. She performs under the stage name La Maupin. And she was kind of bouncing around Paris at this time. At this point, she's got Saran, but she goes, dude, you know what, bro? This was pretty sick. You're pretty good with the sword, but I've caught the eye of a lady, dude, and she's caught my eye too. So she falls for a young woman named Cecilia Bortignali, which I like. At this point, I didn't check on her age, but I like that Julie here is taking a page out of the Count's book. She's like, this Count's a rich dude. He can't even use a sword. I've got a great voice. I'm amazing with swords. It's my turn to be a pervert. I'm going to get me a young lady. So she's really just, honestly, like, what's amazing is it's amazing she gets pardoned twice from the king, which we'll get into, but she's really just being like a perv bro of the era, And so you got to like that. She's defying the odds to just be like, you guys are setting up, and by you guys, I mean like the aristocracy, noble dudes. You're setting up the game for yourself to just have the most fun. Well, guess what? Fuck you, dude. I'm going to do that. And if you challenge me, and if you say I can't, I'll challenge you to a duel and I'll beat your ass. So you just got to like that, dude. And was it all good what she was doing? Nah. She was hurting people, But, she's living life, man. She's sucking that vine. She's a rascal. It's a great way to put it. She's being a rascal, So, it's amazing. So she's creative. Here's the thing. They join a convent together so they can live together. Two women living together in this era, now we're probably in the 1690s in France. That's not okay. Okay, people don't like that. They go, but where can a lot of ladies live together? Dude, in a convent. So they just go there and just enjoy each other's company, dude. But here's the thing. Living in a convent sucks, bro. You got to wake up early. You got to pray. You got to do charitable acts. I mean, those are good things. It's good. But if you're just trying to have a lover's escapade, I think a convent's probably the least sexy place I could think of.
Yeah.
So they grow dull of this life. Not of each other, this life. So what do, dude? They try to escape. A plot was devised to fake Cecilia's death so the two could leave the convent. They exhume a body out from the grave. They place it where Cecilia sleeps, and they burn the place. So they're like, oh, that's the body. Here's the girl. And I really don't know why they need to like fake a death at this point. Because I guess like they'd be looking for Cecilia. And it was like a recently deceased nun's body that they put in there. And so they're like, that's whack, dude. Like it's like religious. It's very, like once you put the body in the ground and give the last rites and stuff, especially in this religious era that they're living in, you don't do that, dude. It's very, to use one of the words, it'd be uncouth to exhume a body, to bury it, to get your lover out. It's really frowned upon in any era, I would say. But the plan unravels due to authorities identify the body. It didn't burn enough. They're like, nah, dude, that's an older lady. This is a young lady, dude. And this, all the dudes in there are like, I know young ladies. I memorized every young lady in the city. That's definitely not one of the young ladies that I have memorized. So we're going to need to take you to freaking jail, dude. She bails, dude. She flees once more, heading home to Paris and the opera. So she's just her life, dude. As the the young kids say, it's a movie, dude. This is a movie, dude. So she's back in Paris. What's the next logical step? Get in a fucking bar fight. I mean, what are you gonna do? Not get in a bar fight, dude? How's the story not had 18 bar fights? When I was researching this, every time a new thing happened or she met like another dude, I was like, she was in a bar probably fighting and she meets someone. Well, guess what? This is what happened. She gets in a bar fight. She challenges 3 men in that bar to a duel. These are the 3 dudes that she murks and murders. But they agree to the stakes. They agree. It's pretty amazing. One of these dudes, so apparently, I guess she murdered a dude earlier. Sorry. She murders some of these dudes. But one of the dudes is a son of a duke, excuse me. She runs her blade through his shoulder, and that turned them on. That was horny. They become lovers now. Here's the thing, though. A death sentence still hangs over La Maupin. She's in the opera, her head. So she visits the Count d'Armagnac again. This count agreed to speak to King Louis XIV. This is Louis XIV, about a royal pardon. And the king is amused by this. He's like, you killed a couple dudes, stabbed a duke's son. I like this girl. And he hears her voice, and he goes, you have a good voice. It would be a shame to kill off this voice and deny people in the world from hearing you sing. I will not kill you. You shall live. Amazing that the king gets to go. That makes me laugh. Makes me laugh that you murdered somebody and you're a good singer, so you get to live. Pretty incredible. Skills, dude. Let this be a test to our time. Look at athletes today, dude. It's if you have skills, society likes that, and money can be made off of it. Also, the king's probably boys with this Count d'Armagnac, and her first lover is coming back, even though she bailed on him, dude. She probably would be like, remember your old nuts, dude? Who was taking care of those old nuts, you little pervert, dude? Me. You got to hook me up with the audience of the king. So don't burn bridges, bro. Just bail, I guess. Maybe that's the lesson to be taken away from this little rascal. She takes the stage 4 nights a week, regaling audience with her voices, dude. One listener declares, says this most creative quote of all time: La Maupin has the most beautiful voice in the world.
Of which they've heard like 4.
Yeah, dude, exactly, bro. It's like exactly. And there's like nationalism in there. It's like, the French opera was probably the highest. At one point, and not yet, like San Francisco became a really big hotbed for the opera, but you got Italian and French operas. But when she wasn't on stage, Julie was still raging, dude. She crashes a royal ball. She sweeps aside noble suitors. She romances young women at these parties, because now she's in the scene. She's known. She's La Maupin, but she's still, Julie or whoever you want to met, one of her names existing within her. That's what's interesting. She has all these names, and she's a multifaceted person. Look, we all are. But each of her facets of this diamond of life that exists in all of us shines very, very bright. And it often lights up a lot of the dark places. So one of the angry suitors, dude, of one of these ladies that she's probably wooing, he gets mad. He's like, how dare you? I must duel you. So she does, and she defeats them one by one. And this, once again, I was talking about outlawing dueling. So Louis XIV had recently outlawed dueling for the reason that I was telling you. It sort of challenges his authority of the crown. It's like, look, no. You don't duel to settle things. I settle things. And if I tell you that you can duel, then you can. But really, it's my choice. So it's basically the crown doesn't like dueling because it's sort of a workaway about justice where the crown wants to be the only one to doing any sort of governing. But it's amazing. Once again, just before, just a little quick aside about dueling. It's illegal to kill or wound anyone with intent to kill another person. This really doesn't come about until 1779. It's like outlawed in different eras, but it all still happens on the low, on the DL. So if you were caught or by a duel, like you could get warned or something like that, and then you could even be put to death yourself. There were anti-dueling edicts. They really didn't come around for another 100 years, but it was the first law published outlawing dueling was actually King Louis XIII in 1627. King Louis XIV has to say it again. So it's basically a lot of nobles just aren't listening. And you can't just go around murking all your nobles if you're the king. It's just kind of too late. Like dueling spread all throughout Europe, introduced this tradition to Russia. Surprised it didn't start there, but it's basically they're like, it's just destroying society. It's bad. It's undermining the monarchy. It's no bueno, but people are still doing it. The best part is though, these published laws and are all for men. It doesn't say one thing about a woman dueling, because it would be preposterous to assume that a woman knew how to use a sword or would ever even get challenged to a duel. It's unladylike, it's uncouth. Julie not only accepts duels, she challenges dudes to duels, and then she murks dudes in these duels. So we already mentioned she was pardoned before for her bar fight, murking a dude, stabbing a duke's son. Now she's up again because she's caught dueling once again, murking another dude, stabbing more, and the king knows who this lady is at this point. He's like, bring her in the court. Let's hear what she's got to say. And the king's like, what the fuck's going on, bro? What are you doing, dude? I already pardoned you once. And Julie, being very clever, being a rascal, says, yes, king, I understand, but your laws say men. I mean, these men, yeah, sure, punish them all you want, even though I have enough myself. But please, it's your kingdom, do as you must. But, I mean, are you not a man of your word? And your word says men can't duel. I am a lady. Once again, the king goes, ha ha, this amuses me. I love this. You're pardoned. Good call. King goes, good call, bro. Fucking nice. Pardons her again. Amazing. She's pardoned again. At this point, she's married to this dude, Fevernard. I'm going to call him Nard. She gets married to this dude, Nard. They perform together in the opera. At one point, she feels insulted by him, challenges him to a duel. He knows how good, he's not a swordsman, and he knows how good she is. And part of her successful opera career is she could play the roles, like she was very adept and efficient swordswoman, I should say. And so the roles that she would play, other women weren't capable of because they'd never have the training and it wasn't realistic. She made it look realistic and badass, and then could hit all the notes that a lady could hit. Maybe some of the higher range and everything like that. So freaking badass, dude. So she was just built, dude, freaking to be a performer and a dueler, dude. I mean, you gotta like that, dude. A dual, multifaceted performer, dude. Freaking triple threat when it comes to dueling: singing, dancing, and straight up stabbing, dude. So badass. You gotta have the triple threat on the basketball court, dude. Shoot, pass, dribble, singing, dancing, stabbing. Also a freaking badass will get you to, lead a successful life in, the 1600s in France. So she even challenges her own husband. She's like, dude, don't ever disrespect me, you bitch. You bitch. I challenge you right now. And he's like, no. And then she's like, you freaking bitch. You need to write a letter and apologize to me for what you did. And she accepts that. She's like, all right, I know you're not a swordsman, and I do maybe kind of love you since you're my husband, but you must apologize and do it in front of everyone that was there when you insulted me. And he's like, yeah, for sure. And then he even writes another letter where he goes, I just want her to leave me alone. Dude, amazing, bro. When everyone's like, dude, just please have her leave me alone. How amazing is that, dude? She's freaking just straight up alpha, bro. Alpha. Breaks off that relationship, and basically the beef started because he was taking other relationships, even though she was, sleeping with other dudes and ladies. He started to sleep with some other ladies, and she's like, that's disrespect to me, which that's where I've got beef. It's like, dude, part of what I want with Julie's, personal character in life is to be like, look, I'm going to do what I want, but if her husband's going to go do what he wants, like, come on, bro, you can't be hypocritical here. So a little hypocritical, but I mean, I'm just fired up on the fact that she knows how to use a sword and is such a badass. So after that, she's just still in the opera, you know, beasting it. She has a 15-year career. She plays over 29 roles. She does fall for a lady, what's her name? They say like this is like supposedly the greatest love of her life. Maybe so because she met early and she died of something. I don't know what it was. And after that, Julie was too lovesick or heartbroken to keep performing, and she moves away from opera in Paris and lives out the rest of her life. It's kind of hazy. They're like, oh, she died at like 33 or 37, most likely of some illness or whatever. But it's badass, dude. There's a book, a fictionalized book by Théophile Gautier in 1835, Nouvelle Mademoiselle C. de Maupin. It's one of the most celebrated French opera singers of her day and one of France's most skilled duelists, even though she was a lady. So you gotta love that, dude. So, I mean, it's a badass life, you know? I play Xbox and I jack off. Here's the thing, compare to spare, you know? Julie couldn't play Xbox. They didn't even exist when she was alive. Pfft, how's that? Honestly, dude, I shouldn't say that. If she can hear me, she'd probably want to duel with me and beat my ass. But I'd have reach, but she'd probably have a way to get inside on me. I wouldn't choose. If she challenged me to a duel, I would accept, you know, because I have honor. I would not, you know, I'd not write a letter like her husband Nard did. I would say, but I would pick the method of dueling, and I would say Warzone, Gulag, and not tell her how to use the buttons, and then I would win. So you gotta be clever. You know what I mean? Gotta be clever, dude. Or I would say, let's have an acting off, dude, and let's act. How sick would that be, dude? Say, let's take the stage and sing and see who gets a better ovation. And then I would definitely die.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm a savage, dude. I mean, that's legit, dude. She's living life to the fullest, dude. Getting after it, dude. You know, leaving a big trail of dust, but you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm fired up. You fired up?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying, dude. If you're thinking about doing something a little extra risque or doing whatever, you know, I wouldn't say go out and cheat on your lovers at will, like Julie did, but I'd say, you know, if you're a single dude, go out with the boys, sing, travel, become a traveling show. You know, hit the road for a little bit when you're young. You know, have to get pardoned. Nah, don't do that. Don't break any laws. But, you know, maybe there's some inspiration to be taken from Julie here of don't let anyone put you in a box. How's that? Let's do a few cues, then bone out. Yo, Strider, where's the party at? Trev Dog. This guy's email subject line is just yo. I mean, dude, this episode's going to come out right after Halloween, so the next party's going to be at Wasted Wednesday before Thanksgiving, dude. You know, cruise back home to your hometown, local bar. Don't drive. Hang out with your wang out and have some freaking fun with your old school bros, you know? Share some memory beers, dude. Make some memories while talking memories. That's where the party's at. For me, the party is at, it's going to be at IKEA in Burbank this weekend. I'm going to cruise out there and see if we can get some discount. We don't do our I would say our foundational furniture from IKEA. You know, some of the materials aren't that great. We like to do that from a CB2 or a West Elm, of course. But, you know, we like to pick up a few accent pieces there. Kind of nice. Also, it's just sick to go in there and feel like you're at the Indiana Jones warehouse from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Friggin' so sick. Strider, what up? You know how there are spirit animals? Do you think that applies to boning? Like, do you bone like a scorpion if your spirit animal is a scorpion? My spirit animal is a lizard. Do lizards even have dicks? My cousin told us our spirit animals the other day. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I don't know the ruling behind spirit animals or whatever. But, I mean, yeah, dude, I think it should apply to your spirit, and your spirit informs all aspects of life. So I think that does translate a little bit to boning. I don't think it like has to go to the functionality. Like you still are a dude who has a dong, Jack. So that's chill. And I mean, maybe, you know, go to like, they've got like lizard conventions, go there. I don't know your age, but go with an adult. Cause I don't know if someone's got a lizard, they're immediately on my radar for not hanging out. And, no, not knocking, but if your pet of choice is reptile, look out. But yeah, dude, go check it out. Maybe do a little YouTube or a Planet Earth. You can probably learn on their boning methods and tactics. I'm sure there's some legit stuff going on, dude, you know? You know, reptiles thrived. I mean, lizards are descendants of dinos, and dinos ruled this earth for a long time. It took an asteroid to take them out. So dinos definitely know how to bone, dude. So I think you're chill on that in that regard. And, you know, in life, you know, there's more than just your belly and your loins. Focus on what else do lizards do well, dude. They post up in the sun very well, dude. They're chill. They like to post up. Dude, you're probably good at posting up. I see a lot of lizards do that, and they do push-ups too. So you'll probably get jacked posting up and doing push-ups. So you got that to look forward to, dude. Look at the whole picture, you know, not just half, my dog. Yeah, so I'm fired up on that, dude. Good cue. Great app, dude. Freaking Le Maupin, La Maupin. Freaking badass, dude. Get a nickname, dude. Maybe that's it. Take the away from the episode. Have someone have to give you a nickname, dude. That's freaking would be sick for doing some legit stuff. So fired up on that, dude. I kind of want to take a fencing class now. Know how to use the pen and the sword. You know, it's like in Braveheart, dude. When William Wallace wants revenge and his uncle's like, he's like, before you learn to use this, pointing at a sword, you must learn to use this. Well, he's like housing soup, and he's like, and he points at his head. So, you know, be a dual threat, you know, when it comes to dueling. Use your dome, you know, form and function, dude. So fired up. Another Dank ep in the books. Aaron beasting on the sticks as always. Thank you. Check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/StriderWilson. Always email me questions, comments, suggestions, corrections. StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Freaking stay stoked, dude. And leave a review. That always helps too, dude. So fired up on those reviews, dude. Let's boost this app. Dude. Let's spread this knowledge, dudes. We're in it together, dude. Danktorians. All right, dude. Late.